We'd known him about, 30 minutes?
Maybe.
Yeah. We had just met him.
Matt and Jessica Neville met in 1998 at their college job and quickly fell in love. With Matt's family having a history of adoptions and Jessica being from Honduras, they knew that adoption was in their future, but they didn't know what the journey held.
Well, when we started to date, she told me, she said, well, I'm going to be bringing my family up here, so you're going to have to be okay with that. I have a grandmother in Honduras that is coming to the United States, and she's going to be living with us, and she's going to stay here for the rest of her life. And she said, and eventually we're going to be adopting a kid from Honduras because they need a family. And
I think it was maybe that first year, and as we were getting to know each other, we were sharing more and more things about one another. And they told me that they were going to adopt one of Jessica's relatives in Honduras.
As school teachers, we see kids, every day, and you just know that there's a need. They need to be cared for, taken care of. I don't know, just to envision that. It just seems like a pretty neat thing to do. I'm sure it's tough, but I think at the end, it's the right thing to do. I mean, it's something that it's within me.
Matt and Jessica started the adoption process in 2008 when Javier, Jessica's distant cousin, was 4 years old. Throughout the process, they confided in family friend and Lakeside Middle School teacher, Kathy Hopper.
So you were taking a child who was in a situation where maybe you didn't have enough to eat, maybe you didn't have clothes to wear, and going to school was something that was inconsistent at best, and you were able to take that person and bring them to the United States, and as well as loving them, giving them a situation where they could thrive and become the best person that they could be.
Javier lives in La Lima, Honduras, a very poor community where he does not have the best home life. Matt and Jessica felt that Javier deserved a better upbringing and wanted him to live in Hot Springs with them.
The whole story is...
started back when he was, 4.5, I guess?
It started about,
4.
4.5. His mother passed away. She had cancer, and by the time they detected it, it was already too late, so she died. And my cousin... that is the father of this child. The mother was not related to me as the dad. He is unstable and he's not able to take care of the child. So my aunt took over the little boy. And in Honduras, you don't have to go through adoption process. You just take family and just raise them. And that's what she did until recently, this past year. She started getting very, very sick, and we found out that she had a brain tumor.
We get to Honduras, and when he shows up, he's ours. I mean, everybody leaves, and he's ours to take care of. I mean, from that moment on. So you go from being carefree couple to having a 5-year-old in the snap of the fingers, and it's quite an adjustment.
Matt and Jessica love the time they get to spend with Javi in Honduras, but his young age and unsafe situation make it hard for them to leave.
Meeting him and taking care of him for that week, and then knowing that we had to say goodbye. It was the most difficult thing I think I've ever done in my life. And we did that. Hoping that, things would move along faster, that my lawyer in Honduras was going to tack this and see the urgency in the child being 5 and needing help and needing care. And it didn't matter.
No, it didn't.
It didn't matter at all.
Not at all.
I mean, you have made a face-to-face connection with this kid, and it's that child. It's not the adoption experience. It is that individual person.
Matt and Jessica are very anxious to bring Javi home, but there is trouble with international adoptions out of Honduras, so it is taking longer than they ever expected. The average wait for a domestic adoption ranges from 2 to 18 months, whereas the average wait time for an international adoption ranges from 1 to 3 years. For Matt and Jessica, it's been 7.
This was a list that Honduras gave us that we had to fill out. And
get all these items.
From brain analysis to physicals to contagious diseases to home studies to...
Yeah, I mean, the United States has a certain set of things that you have to do right off the bat.
It wasn't like maybe adoption here where you could just go and the process is shorter, but bringing a child out of Honduras into the United States was complicated.
What started started happening was it'd be send these 3, send these 4, send these 2, send just this one more thing. Oh, but wait a minute. Now these other 2 documents they're out of date now. You need to resubmit them. And so it just went on and on and on. And the whole time he's just languishing.
I see that them waiting because they care about this person, and he's becoming a different person than when they first met him at 4.5. And it's not like he's growing up a regular American kid. His neighborhood he lives in is dangerous.
Honduras is a very dangerous country, and right now it is run by a lot of drug people, trafficking, and it's a scary world. Kids get abducted every day, by people, and they kill them. They take their organs out and sell them, and then they leave their bodies at that family's house. They take the bodies back. So my fear is that Javier, if he doesn't get out of there, a gang is going to get him.
The child that he's becoming is now, as an 11-year-old, is a lot of it is street survival, and you're not looking at a 4-year-old boy that you can sit down and play Legos with. You're looking at a different kid.
In 2012, Honduras had a murder rate of 92 per 100,000 people and had the highest homicide rate in the world. Tegucigalpa, Honduras' capital, is ranked as the number 2 most dangerous city in the world. San Pedro Sula, another major city, is ranked number 6.
For me, after about the second or third time of being told you're this close, and then realizing that absolutely nothing has happened. It's not that I don't love Javier, I do.
No, I know.
I just didn't know what else to do.
Right.
I mean, I was at a loss.
Right.
It was heartbreaking. I got where I didn't want to ask them, how's the adoption process going? Because it wasn't going to be good news. After 5 years, you're going, okay, it's been 5 years. After, 6 years, it was not good news.
We've put our lives literally on hold for 7 years. I mean, we've wanted to have a family for 7 years.
They had a room for Javier, and they had decorated it for a little boy who was maybe 5 or 6 years old. It was great going in there that they were ready. They were ready for this child to come into their life, and his home was there, and they were going to be able to picture him in that spot. Well, he's 11 now, and they've moved to a different home, and that room that they prepared and they looked at waiting for that child to show up, it's not there anymore.
I even thought there was a time that I even thought maybe I just need to move to Honduras back again, so so I can take care of him.
Roadblock after roadblock, the commitment that Jessica feels to this child as a mother already is like that tiger mom. That's her child, even though she doesn't have him with her every night.
Finally, this has actually reached the court systems of Honduras, and there's been contact with the embassies in Honduras, the U.S. embassies in Honduras, about planning the paperwork.
So what do you do? I mean, our adoption is moving along fast. They want us there, and now it's a fear that when we go down there, we might not come back alive.
They look at Javier the way they would look at a child that they gave birth to, and they're fierce in their fight. It would have been easy to give up.
Even though it's been a hurdle, and there's still a need. There's still a huge need, and these children need to find families and homes and a life. They deserve that. It's not their fault. They were born in the situation they were in. They're in. They just need that chance. They just need someone to say, gosh, I want to help that child. And the reward is amazing. I've been told by a lot of my family members and his family that the reward is amazing.